All right, so let me share my screen really quickly. So this is the dealing range I'm looking at right now. I'm pretty bullish, to be honest. I'm not entirely bearish as of right now. But in about a couple minutes, I'll get into the whole thought process of everything. Good morning, everybody.
You say I'm beautiful and you can make me into better things. Only if I give you everything. You got better plans. If you standing with me, they can never stand. No one ever can. It's amazing. Only here because you saved me. Take a look at what you made me. Resting in your presence daily. You took all my flaws, all that I'm not. Made me into who I am.
100% Clemson. Okay, I'm gonna start talking at 8:08. Let's say 8:08. Just give everyone a chance to join, and then I'll give my whole top down and why I'm leaning a specific way.
I'm closing chapters, I'm turning pages, glory to glory, and from faith to faith, I'm moving on.
Feel free to play some music while you're here, because in this Discord stream, we don't have music in the background, unfortunately. For me personally, I find that music helps me calm anxiety, which is why I always listen to music when I'm like working, trading, stuff like that. Your stream is 720p, or is that just on my end? Let me make sure. I'm gonna turn it up. I have to get Discord Nitro for that. You know what? Why not? I'll get it right now. I'll get Discord Nitro. Give me 1 second. Much better or what? Is it nice? Better quality now? I hope so. Okay, perfect. Alright, so let's get right into it so we don't waste too much time. I am just gonna show you guys my one setup for life. I don't want to introduce you guys to anything new just yet. I want you guys to get comfortable with my one setup for life. spotting it and stuff like that. So I've already annotated everything out that I need to annotate. Is that true week open 7:30? Well, you don't need true week open to be honest, but it's just a good reference point. You have the 7:30 a.m. Open, and then I annotated 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and that's our window to really look for a trade. So we're starting on the daily chart. Take that off the daily chart. Okay, so in terms of daily chart, I'm just looking for internal to external range liquidity. It's nothing too fancy, right? This is my higher time frame. So we've traded into a discount. We've traded into this inefficiency right here. Oh, sorry, I was doing something else. Right, so that's not a fair value gap, sorry. Let me change that. Volume imbalance. There we go. So this is a volume imbalance, and essentially it works like a fair value gap. It's just another inefficiency in the market, right? So from here you can just really look, okay, if we're looking in terms of internal to external range liquidity, yes, on the macro scale I'm still looking for that SMT on the highs so that we can trade lower ultimately, but we're not having that yet. So until then I'm still bullish and I'm just waiting. Okay, so we've traded into discount, we've traded into not only this volume imbalance, but we've also traded into previous week low, which is that time-based liquidity, right? So if we're using this framework right here, very simple stuff, right? So from our daily chart using time frame alignment, where do we go after this? I'm gonna let you guys answer in the chat. Yes, external range liquidity, but in terms of time frame alignment, where are we aiming for? Like where am I going next in my process? I see some correct answers, but I'm just gonna let everyone else think on it a little bit. Exactly, hourly structure, right? So from daily, this framework on the daily, internal external range liquidity, all I'm looking for is higher time frame internal range or external range liquidity. And so once we tap into that, I can just go to the 1 hour. Okay, so now I'm on the 1 hour. I'm going to delete this range. We don't really need that as a reference. Now here you can see that we traded into that volume imbalance, right? And then we have SMT divergence on the lows right here. So this is SMT divergence right here. These lows get taken out on YM, right? And so we start expanding higher. So that's one key clue that we could be in a market maker buy model right now, right? Because if you look at the grand scheme of things, what does this look like if we're framing our trade off of a higher time frame key level, right? One more thing to note is that this right here, I'm pretty sure it was a SMT divergence. Let me just make sure though. SMT divergence right here within this accumulation phase right here. So this could be that accumulation phase. And right now my current drawn liquidity for low hanging fruit is just this high. Like I'm just looking at this high right here because this was originally a distribution phase, right? And then we have our original consolidation at the ultimate all-time highs. So now with this SMT, I am more confident that we could potentially be seeing more upside, especially because, referring back to seasonal tendencies as well for DXY, now we can start expecting slower price action or choppier price action, if that makes sense. That first week or two of February is where we're really looking for the push higher, and then afterwards we can expect some sort of pullback consolidation on DXY. And then after, I think around maybe even today, actually, like mid-February, right, we can expect that push higher again. So if that's the case, then we can look for bearish price action. But for now, because we don't have that SMT on the daily chart, I'm just looking for that high ultimately. So Super simple framework, and that's just my higher time frame bias. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's fine. The important thing is that we're following our rules and being consistent in our analysis, right? So what is my essentially what's my SOP to framing the day? Our time frame, IRL or ERL, right? This is step number 1. Intermediate time frame structure. And then 3 is that execution model. Right, that I tell you guys about all the time. The higher time frame PD array, SMT, whatever your entry model is, and then that trade management in the at the very end. Another thing that I am paying attention to is this volume balance right here. But if we are bullish, then I'm really disregarding any bearish PD array, if that makes sense, because I'm just looking for buy side liquidity at this point in time. How I'm kind of imagining this would play out in my mind is that we could potentially see NASDAQ right now or ES like push higher, take this high out, and then YM can leave that open within this fair value gap potentially, right? And then we end up getting that SMT divergence where YM starts trading lower from this fair value gap because there's a lot of sell side liquidity here. You zoom out, there's a lot of sell side liquidity residing below. So that's just something I have in mind right now. And I'm leaning more bullish than bearish as of right now. I just want to see how news presents itself. Because once again, remember when I told you guys earlier in the week, waiting for Tuesday's CPI to reveal itself, and it's most likely going to be the like whatever side CPI pushes, we're probably most likely going to be leaning the other direction, because when we have news like CPI, FOMC, NFP, PPI, or really any news in general, we'll see some sort of manipulation. And in this case, because it's such a high impact news, I generally like to see it pushes the opposite direction of the true market direction, if that makes sense. So in this case, CPI pushes lower, I'm expecting higher prices after that, because we are under the true week open as well, right? We've taken previous week low, we've tapped into a daily volume imbalance. Everything narrative wise is lining up that we want to push higher. On top of that, my lower time frame structure now, or not lower time frame, sorry, my intermediate term time frame structure is telling me that we could potentially be seeing upside because we're getting SMT divergence on the lows that sponsor displacement higher, right? And what else are we doing? We're respecting when does retail support and resistance turn into true support and resistance, as we can look at these points that have a fair value gap, right? And we're supporting higher from it. And that's why right now I'm looking at this as a new dealing range within here. I'm looking for some sort of buy, if that makes sense. So once again, as of right now, I'm not entirely afraid. If we dip lower, we could possibly take out these equal lows, but ultimately what I want to see is some sort of shift after that with SMT. And if we get that, then that's a perfect setup. All right, let me move this over so it looks a little better. Like during 9 to 10:30 is like I'm looking for that push higher, you know what I mean? And then we can look for that buy side. And that's just what my game plan is right now, because remember, what's our rules? Our rules is pay attention to 7:30 open, right? Are we below or above it? Because we want to buy below it, we want to sell above it. Okay. Do we get SMT divergence? Is there a higher time frame PD array? Stuff like that.
Why is there nobody like Jesus? Bitch, ça fait très longtemps que j'y pense à comment se mettre bien, moi j'ai pas ton élan. N'écoute jamais les on-dit, ceux qui jactent n'ont pas vu la vie au travers de ton monde. J'ai beau parler dans leur langue, mais faut croire qu'ils n'entendent que le langage de la violence. Je me faufile en balle sur les mains, tu m'as pas vu bégayer quand fallait passer le lent. Sans caracher quand un négro, j'ai choisi mes modèles, c'est fiable comme un moteur allemand. Nindé sans cara, sans chicot, et je fais qu'est gros bien plus que les grands de tes grands. J'étais ma paille, ils sont pas concentrés. J'attends pas la passe, ils peuvent pas centrer. Je bon, tout me parle pas de...
Where's the SMT again, please, on the H1? Let me show that. Or did I show you that easy already? Or I don't know if I did. It's Tuesday at 2100. Okay. Who taught you pay attention to 7:30 open? That would be Day. Trader Day. You can see right now we're getting SMT divergence with YM as well. So that's a good indication that we could potentially be seeing upside. Do I trade Q2 90-minute cycle of New York? The kill zone, or the kill zone itself, or the AMs? I guess like kill zone would be like 7 a.m. to 10 or something like that. I forgot what it was. I personally do trade. I trade Q2 of New York AM, but I just want to teach you guys my one setup for life, which would be 9 to 10:30. Like right now, if I were to be trading this, I would be in a short aiming for sell side liquidity, expecting manipulation in the market, right? And then after, so this is how I catch both sides of the curve. Where you'll see me is that during manipulation I look for some sort of manipulation, and then during the kill zone I look for a shift higher, and you know.
That's what all the others say. Put you down just like any other days. Never knew I'd make songs you'd be singing that. I'm so lucky to be
Okay, I'm going to wait, give me 1 second. Yo, I forgot. Yo. I forgot to record like majority of the stream. Like I paused it earlier because I went to do something, and then I was like, why is it stuck at 1850 like on the recording? Ah shit. Okay, I gotta recap everyone. All right, quick recap for since I honestly missed a lot. Quick recap. Essentially, I was looking for bullish prices, so tape reading once we took Asia low. I was expecting higher prices, and I did a few tape reading trades, and after that, you know, I got stopped though because price kept going lower. I was looking at YM to go higher, and so from those higher prices, essentially I was, you know, looking for bullish prices. Give me 1 second, I'm getting a phone call.
Maybe we could try if you let me take you by the hand. You're the only one who understands.
I almost got this. At least we gotta memorize. It's for the haves and the have wanna give a fucks. Hey, I ride around in your car. I put my weed in your blunt. I am the sky to your star. I am the end of your month. You are the start of my day. You brought the smile from my face. I see the world from your eyes. You pull the thought from my side. I know you love me. It's rare, I know you love me. But yeah, I know you love me. It's rare, I know you love me. You give me all that you got. You make it stretch it and flip. I fell in love with your thighs. I learned this morning your hips. You know I'm caught in my vibe, but I still give you my rib. You hear
All right, sorry about that. I'm back. What was I talking? So after taking Asia low, I was looking for higher prices, and so over here we took some tape reading trades, and we got stopped out of these ones. From that, you know, I think that's all caught up, right? And I was explaining how today I can't explain what's happening because NQ went lower. The only thing I could explain is that NQ was manipulation because overall bias was bullish. I think that's all caught up, right? Let's go, Snows. Yeah, it could be a market maker buy model. So we have this inversion gap. So if we're tape reading, you could, not telling you guys take a long, but that's still what I'm looking for, is looking for a long. We got our setup while you're on the phone. Yeah, we did. Right here we have SMT divergence on the lows. And then you could look for that setup. Let me just make sure I can annotate this for you guys. This here is actually the SMT. If you want something cleaner, you'll also look at ES. This could also be like all these lows are SMT over and over and over again, essentially. And then now we have that inversion gap right here, and look for entry. And then ultimately, if we're going higher, then I would start projecting using projections here. Right, you can use projections like that and then possibly look for your targets. I would say the first target is this high, and then after you can like look back and you have another high here, for example. That could be a target. I think that's a little too far though for today, for sure. But once again, like, I'm not gonna execute because I'm just not feeling the market today. Got chopped up a couple times tape reading.
Tear down and reminisce. I know that you're feeling it. You miss me a little bit, blow me a little kiss. When you see me, please believe me. I know you better maybe than you know yourself. Plus you see me everywhere, that doesn't help. So let me be the person that's gonna notify you. Despite your efforts, I'm gonna end up back beside you. And you wouldn't have it any other way. Yesterday, tomorrow find someone else to sleep next to you. Only set you up, but girl, I ain't judging. I know you were sick of my shit. Found yourself a bitch, one that's celibate, but I know you're frontin'. 'Cause I know you like it nasty. Can't get that shit past me. I'm grabbing your throat, but I really hope you're happy. It's that booty clapping. Wish you were home.
Yeah, heard you found someone else. Still ain't even find yourself. Sitting in my hotel, just scrolling, and I noticed that your page on private. Why you hide yourself? Why, my girl? Never meant to make you cry, my girl. Know you caught me in some lies, oh well. I'm not perfect. It's some worse people in the churches. We ain't gotta do the back and forth with each other like a verses. 'Cause it is what it is.
I'm sorry guys, I just have something I need to deal with really quick.
Love you like I can't. Love you like I can't. Someone said they seen you with your new man. Oh, I heard you found someone else. Oh, I heard to sleep next to you.
Only set you up, but girl, I ain't judging. Know you were sick of my shit.
Sick of mine.
Found yourself a bitch,
Heard you say,
one that's celibate, but I know you're frontin'. 'Cause I know you like it nasty. Can't get that shit past me. I'm grabbing your throat, but I really hope you're happy. It's that booty clapping. Wish you were home. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, I wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gone to stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away.
Alright, I'm back. In terms of my model, this is the model, but I'm not feeling it, so I'm just gonna stay out. And I'm also just waiting for my payout right now, so another reason for me personally to stay out. I just personally, I don't think this is the cleanest setup. So, you know, I would be careful, because once again, I've never seen this before in my life, where it's like chop down up. You know what I mean? Like, that's just
sweet and you're cute. I really wanna get to know you.
Man, this recording's like high key messed up. I might do a makeup stream tomorrow if you guys want that. So I'll do a makeup stream tomorrow. It's like we'll do live trading in the morning, and then we'll transition into the weekly review. So I'll probably see you guys. Let me check the economic news calendar. Tomorrow had news anyways, so I wanted to trade tomorrow if a setup presents itself. So if PPI at 8:30, so I'll hop on at like 8:15 or something, and then we'll tape read until 11, I guess, and then we'll do the weekly review.
Sound a little cheesy, but things just don't work out, and that's okay. I hope you find your happiness, 'cause I just want the best for you, I swear. Even if that doesn't mean me, you'll always mean a lot to me.
Insane play, Primo Actual. That was really good. Good stuff. Once again, I just want to teach you guys the one setup for life in terms of my model. But then I will give you guys like my bias on the day. Stuff like that. Where so like overall I am leaning bullish. It's just this kind of happened first, so
so intrigued by your presence, only one I adore. I can't explain it. Too much to handle, way too potent, they can't obtain it. Precious like white diamonds, your shine cannot be tainted.
Will you teach us other models you use? Yeah, I will. But for now, I just want to kind of use 9 to 1030 because that's like the highest probability. All right, see ya, Clemson. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, I think that it's honestly a good point to call it just because of how choppy the markets are right now. It's like how uncorrelated they are as well. DXY is like plummeting, whereas NQ's also plummeting, but then YM's like skyrocketing, and then we have ES just being extremely choppy, right? It's not like just seeing that alone is already like not something we want to be involved with per se, unless you're like scalping on like the 15-second, 5-second, right? I'm not saying this is untradeable. I'm just saying like in terms of this model, is just there's nothing here. Full point revenge. There's nothing to revenge for me personally. I'm chilling. I'm up. We up.
Sunset, are you on the subway?
Yeah, I was gonna ask for clarification. I was like, what does that mean?
So Malibu nights. You will know if you stay. You will know if you put.
Okay, I think this is where I might just like call it, to be honest. I don't want to like continue tape reading this just because it's going to like I know I was about to say that but like, you know, it's not something I want to continue tape reading. It just doesn't look very high probability. But overall, I'm bullish. So if the market goes higher, I called it. Anyways, if it goes lower, I said nothing. Yeah, I wish you guys all a good day. You know, take care, everybody. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll do a makeup stream tomorrow morning, and I'll announce it because I kind of botched the recording. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Thanks for coming by.